Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Dose of Hope. My name is George Searfoss. I'm executive pastor here at Hope Community Church. And I wanted to start this evening by saying something that for many churchgoers or many people that considers themselves Christians or followers of Jesus, seems like a no-duh. But I've been thinking about this a lot over the last couple of months. What are the things that I'm so grateful and thankful for? And as I was kind of compiling a list over the last couple of months, I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for a lot of very, very good friends that I have. I'm thankful for, of course, my job here at Hope. I love what I do. I find so much purpose in it. I'm also thankful for my family. I'm grateful for them, and I have a new deep appreciation for what they mean to me on a daily basis. But the thing that I'm most thankful for is my relationship with Jesus Christ, because he has radically transformed my life, and he still continues to radically transform my life, even though I've been a Christian for a number of years, many, many, many years, decades as a matter of fact. He continues to change my life. When I give more and more over to him, he changes my life. And the more in touch that I am with my gratitude for him, the more in touch I am with my thankfulness for all that he's done, the more that I want my friends to get to know the person that has changed my life. I want you to think about that. Number one, how grateful are you for Jesus in your life? I want you to literally stop this week and go, what are some of the things that Jesus has done for my life specifically? I want you to actually meditate on that. I want you to actually maybe grab paper and pencil or paper and pen or a journal and write down the many things that you're grateful for what Jesus has done in your life. And then the other thing I want you to do is I want you to vocalize that. Maybe talk to somebody in your household, or maybe just talk to a friend on the phone or on Zoom or however you're talking, because we're in yellow and soon to be green. We can be talking to our friends now and just express the gratitude that you have for Jesus, especially to your Christian friends, other friends that follow Jesus. I was reading this week one of my favorite stories, right? It's from Mark chapter 2, but I think it's in every one of the Gospels. But it's a story of when Matthew becomes a follower of Jesus. So Matthew, who is a tax collector, one day Jesus comes and tells him to follow him. And he can't believe it. His whole world has actually changed in a moment. Every young boy back in that time every Jewish boy wanted to be a rabbi. And so when a rabbi came and told you to follow him, that meant that you were actually going to be trained to become a rabbi. And so Matthew excitedly followed him. But Matthew had a heart not only for Jesus, he immediately fell in love with Jesus. And not only did he have a heart for the other disciples, other people that were actually following Jesus, but he also had a heart for his friends that were tax collectors. He wanted them to meet the person that had changed his life. And so Matthew throws this humongous party, and he invites all of his new friends, the disciples. He invites all of his old friends, the tax collectors, and they have this big party, and they're having fun, and they're all hanging out with a person that has changed Matthew's life and the rest of the disciples' life, Jesus. And it's great. But then, of course, and almost in every one of these stories, there's these religious figures that come along, these religious leaders, and they basically are party poopers. They come along and they go, why is it that your master eats with such scum? And right away, Jesus overhears that conversation and he says, listen, I haven't come for those that think that they're okay. I have come for those that know that they're sick and that are in need of a doctor. And Jesus has always come for those that knew that they were in need of a doctor. The thing I love about that story so much, there's so many layers to it. I love that Jesus chastises the religious leaders. I love that he's basically saying that I've come to be with people that you don't think have a right to be, for me to be with. But the thing I really love when I was reading it again this time was that Matthew had a heart for his friends. He knew that if they would meet the same Jesus that had transformed his life, that he could change theirs. And I wonder, friends, if we had that same thing in us. You know, when we're grateful for what Jesus has done for our life, when we recognize it, when it's like on the tip of our tongue about all the things that Jesus has done, when we're grateful, I think that we want our friends to meet Jesus. So my question to you is, over this summer, will any of your friends get to meet the person that has transformed your life, the person that you're so grateful for? And so I have a challenge for all of us this summer. You know, we've been introducing this concept of having drinks in the driveway, or I also been thinking about like fire pits with friends. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago when I talked about being fireflies, having fire pits with our friends. I want you to invite your friends over, and I want you to do it like Matthew did it. I want you to have some of the other followers of Jesus that you know from your church to come on over. And then I want you to invite some of your neighbors or some of your work friends or just some of maybe your family that doesn't know Jesus, and kind of just hang out together and get to know each other and become friends all together so that they will eventually get to meet Jesus. The Jesus that has transformed so many people's lives in those circles. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to actually make some uncomfortable steps. I'm going to ask you to do something that maybe some of you naturally do. Maybe some of you are natural at throwing parties. I want you to have a party, and I want you to invite some of your Hope friends over. And if you don't have Hope friends, I want you to email Erin Stevens at estevens@hope-cc.org and ask her, hey, who could I invite to come over? Or you can also email me, and we'll help you. And then I want you to have a party where you're having your Hope friends over, and then invite some of your neighbors or some of your friends over. And just have a normal time. You don't have to talk about Jesus every second of the time together. You can just be together, talk, have fun, get to know each other, with the hopes that down the road, that your friends will have their lives transformed like your life was transformed. Listen, there is nothing more exciting than when you have an opportunity to lead your friend to Jesus. And that's all you're doing. You're introducing them to Jesus, and it's not your job to make sure that they get saved. It's just your job to introduce them to it. So step one, and that's all we're looking for, is step one. Have a party. Invite your Christian friends, invite your non-Christian friends, have them come over, get to know each other, and eventually have a conversation about Jesus. And maybe what it is going to be is going to invite them to another time where they can come to church, or maybe you'll watch it on video together. But you don't have to worry about that at first. At first, just gather together, because where 2 or 3 Christians are together, Jesus is there in the midst. And they just might meet the same Jesus that transformed your life.